Loving. Oh, yes, I warn you all, you're being recorded. It's too late for Arvin and
Nee,
I.
maar
We've already
even,
planned
dat scheelt mee.
things
Krijg
ours.
geld en rapport mee.
Can I remind you to make sure that your mic and camera are both off?
Niet mijn portemonnee meenemen, even wat, neem maar €2 mee.
Right, guys, we've got a great show lined up for you this evening or today. It's going to be epic, to use Meg's word. We've got a roundup of all the activities that have happened over the past week, some live and recorded performances from fellow alumni. And yes, we have a few surprises along the way as well.
Yes, it's going to be a big cross between a village meeting, One World, and a no talent show. Arvin and I will be supplying the no talent. There will be talent from other people. And without any further ado, I would like to just take a moment to acknowledge that virtually we are at Pearson College and we sit on unceded territory of the Sienna First Nation. And I would like to thank Danielle White in year 17 for talking to me earlier this week about this topic. And I'm sure some of you were at her amazing session. And I'd like to take this opportunity for us to move from the thoughts from her session to thinking about where we find ourselves now, wherever we are in the world, and think about who came before us and who will follow us. If we could take that as a thought going forward. That is the only serious thing I'm going to say today. I would now like to introduce Mirinda to talk to us about some of the do's and don'ts of Zoom. Over to you, Mirinda.
Good morning, everybody. So great to see you all. For a great Zoom experience this morning, please turn off your camera and microphone. If you are speaking later in the program, please feel welcome to turn it back on at that point, of course. Speaker view will give you the best view today. And so you should be able to, in your screen, see at the top right, for many of you, a view option, and to change that from gallery view to speaker view if you haven't already. As well, you're welcome to use reactions, to clap, to raise your hand, to share emoji throughout the program. Where that might be on your screen will depend, but for some of you, you can easily find it under participants and then find your name and to the right options there. It might also be in the lower area of your screen under the title reactions. Those are two places to find it. Go ahead and chat with me privately in the chat if you have difficulty. And then throughout today, please feel welcome to chat in the chat with each other. We can have a fun back channel going there. It's a great place to share links, and you can chat privately with individuals or with all of us. Back over to you.
Hello, I would like to invite Meg to talk to us now about various things, which are always of interest and relevance. Thanks, Meg.
Hello, everybody. The first thing to say is a massive thank you. Thank you so much for everything that you have done to make this week a reality. We've, between us, managed to cover, there's been 10 days of activities, 41 different sessions, 56 hours of program throughout the entire week, hundreds and hundreds of posts on social media, 20 time zones represented, actually 22 now, I've just checked. And we have been, laughing, we've been serious, we've done all the things that we wanted to do during this week. Can you go to the next slide? But I would also like to thank your spouses, your partners, your children, your bosses, your workmates, your pets, dissertation supervisors and houseplants, all of whom must be feeling extremely neglected this week. I know my family certainly is. So thank you to you and your energy and your passion, and also thank you to them for putting up with this. I know it's a very strange thing to ask of your family to let you go to the reunion when in fact you're probably just in the spare room or at the kitchen table. Next slide, please. I just wanted to fill you in a little bit about the background of the reunion and how we started planning it. When we first started talking about it, these are some of the notes that we had from our first meeting really about the reunion. We wanted to make a digital reunion a real thing, not just a poor replacement for the real thing. It was a thing in itself. We wanted it to be the most inclusive and accessible reunion possible, working across time zones, platforms, interests, and availability. We wanted it to feel like a festival of reconnection, more like that than a reunion. So actually, the big tent idea really came from the idea of bringing people together for a festival where lots of different activities are happening and lots of stages all over, and we come together for the big thing at this point. We also wanted to be clear that a reunion has to be relevant and meet us where we are now, and not just thinking about who we were back then and where we were back then. The very fact that this is happening in my guest room, in your kitchen, in your living room, you know, everywhere where you are, means that we have invited ourselves back into your lives. And that makes it more important than ever for us to meet each other as we are now in our late 40s, rather than pretending that we're all still 17 again. The grey hair alone gives it away. We also we didn't want to replace, we knew that we couldn't reproduce the feeling of being in the place, but we wanted to rekindle the feeling of being with each other, though we've tried to bring some elements of place back into it. Can we have the next one, please? So how do we know if we've achieved any of those things? These were the objectives that we set as an organising committee. We said we will know we have been successful with this reunion if people sign up, they create a connection to the reunion in any way. If people show up, if they're active during the event, if they participate in any of the different platforms that we've created, and if they step up. So they volunteer to host and lead things, they get involved in some way, they roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty in big ways and small ways. So how have we done? Quick. So 65% of our total cohort, so that's 65% of the 400 people that potentially could have been at this reunion, have signed up and got involved in this. That's 60 to 68% of each year group. So it's across all 4 groups. We have done really, really well. Next slide. And 62% of the total cohort have actually shown up at this event itself. So that's not 62% of the 65, that's 62% of the 400, which means the conversion from people saying that they were interested or signing up in the first place to actually following through in some way has been amazing. And finally, 45 different people, 45 of you have stepped up to get involved in the running of this. So although we have had a small organising committee kind of working on this for several months and behind the scenes all week, kind of getting things, you know, smoothing things over, sometimes making things a bit more rough, sorry about that, and certainly sorry about using UTC. But anyway, but 45 of you have actually stepped up to get involved and to lead your peers in this conversation, for which we are insanely grateful. So have we managed to achieve any of our objectives? Next up. We absolutely have. I was so tempted to put George Bush in here saying mission accomplished, but that was the classic case where he said it, but it wasn't actually true. Next slide. I gathered a few bits of feedback from people, or rather people emailed me and contacted me to give some feedback spontaneously over the last few days. And I just wanted to kind of, I'm not going to read these out, I'm just going to leave them on the screen here, so that you can see the kind of ways that people have been feeling about this. And perhaps you might have been feeling similar. People talk repeatedly about how worried they were that it wasn't going to be as good as the real thing, about how they thought that this was going to be, you know, oh, I've spent so much of my life on Zoom for the last 18 months. I really didn't want to spend any more of my time on Zoom. But actually, what we're seeing is that people have managed to step into a different kind of space. Next slide, please. Another example, I was hoping someone says, I love this, that nothing could replace being together at Pearson. It would be odd not knowing, but I was really wrong. And I'm so pleased when people are wrong, but in the right way. Next step. And this was, I think, the one that summed it up for me. It felt like an authentic Pearson experience. We stayed up too late. We spent time with people we love. We made new connections. We bumped into people, whether it was on the path in Gather or whether it was, you know, in sessions. We talked about silly things and important things with equal fervor. We learned and were challenged and surprised. We promised ourselves that we'd manage our time to handle other commitments, and we did not manage that. I mean, that is the story of my life. We didn't sleep enough and we smiled so much it hurt. The thing that was missing were the hugs, but I can guarantee that at some point in the future, we will collect on those. Next slide. So that brings us to objective 4. We had 3 main objectives and I think we managed to smash those, and I'm really pleased that we did. But the 4th one is about what comes next. This 4th thing came out of the survey that we did before we actually started the reunion, which was asking what people wanted out of this. And one of the things that came across loud and clear was a legacy of reunion, continued opportunities for community. So the question that we have for you and for Benoit and his team and for Craig and so on is to say, how do we transform this reunion participation into ongoing connection, conversation and commitments? And commitments, of course, can be about time, they can be about money, they can be about skills, they can be about all different things. Next slide. So on that note, I'm going to drop a feedback survey into the chat, and I've already posted it on the various social media platforms. It would be super helpful to us and to those who come after us if you could provide some feedback about what you've particularly enjoyed, frustrations, anything like that. The reason being because the more that we understand how it worked and how it didn't, the better we can help to pass that information on to those who come after, to other organisers, or even to the people within this group who might organise the next one, because I'm not doing it again. Okay, thanks very much for your time. And I'm going to pass over to Tanya now.
Here we go. Battle of the Years. Meet and greet. I think we have the wrong poll up. Who do you think is the winner? Here we go. Vote now. Drum roll. I'm waiting for the polls. People, can you vote in the poll?
It's not working.
It's not working?
Yes, it is for some of us.
Okay, so for some of you, if you can go in and vote, otherwise I think we're just gonna skip. The winner is, we can go to the next slide, year 16. So year 16 and 17 were really, really close. Even if we do take out those one-liners, it's 34 to 31 out of 98 participants. And very close behind was year 19 with 22, and year 18 had 9 out of 94. So I think this is a reflection in part of the fact that year 16 and 17 won't meet again, whereas year 18 and 19 will have another opportunity with the next quad in the next reunion, whenever that may be, in 2 or 3 years' time. So thank you all for engaging in the meet and greet. These slides will soon be turned off from the editor mode into just a view mode, and they will still be posted on the website for people to peruse and see and catch up with other people. Thank you for engaging in this, and kudos to year 16.
Yeah, well done. Year 16. Obviously, the being year 16 myself, I know that just how good year 16 can be in everything we do. The next stop in this virtual journey is going to be Israel. Fellow year 16 again, Oren Stern. He's going to give a reading from his recently published poetry collection. Over to you, Oren.
Hey, hi everyone. How you doing? So, can you hear me okay? Cool. So there was some instruction about not showing your faces. I really, really, really would love to see everybody's faces on this Zoom. So if you don't mind turning on your cameras, miss you all so much. Oh, hey, hi everyone. Okay, I'm not gonna waste a lot more time. Just going to say I'm really super excited to be here. Really, this is my book, published just a couple weeks ago. Really, fresh out the oven. This year has been a dreadful year, I must say, for all of us, I think. I just want to take a minute to share here personally. This year has been a very challenging one for me. My oldest son was diagnosed with cancer a year ago. And we spent the last year kind of battling that. And he's now okay. He's in remission, but this year was very trying. So somehow, in the middle of all that craziness, I kind of found it within me to go and try and get this thing out. So I was asked by Kate, you're all going to indulge me, and I'm going to read a poem in Hebrew, and then I'm going to. I made a valiant effort to translate it to English. Luckily, none of my English teachers are here online, but I will, hopefully, it will make sense. So here I go. It's called Suddenly at Midday, or Pitom Be'emtza Hayom in Hebrew. פתאום באמצע היום לוקח לו אדם רגע להמר. הוא לא חושב פעמיים על הימים שהיו, ועל הקרקע שברגליו, ועל כמה הוא כבד, וכמה קל הוא אביב. ואיך השאיר הכל מאחור, ומה יאמר כשיפגשו, ואיך יסתור האוויר את שערה. פתאום באמצע היום לוקח לו אדם רגע, ואין הוא יודע לאן מועדות פניו, וכמה מהר ייפול, ואיך למרות הכל ידע ימים אחרים, ומתי שכח לחזור, ואם בכלל היה שם מלכתחילה. וכבר זמנו עבר, והיא מזמן הבשילה. פתאום באמצע היום לוקח לו אדם את הימים שרצה, והלילות נטולי השינה, והשבילים מכוסי העבר שחצה, והדמעות העצובות והדמעות העצובות, והביחד והלבד והלפני, וכל הדממות החלולות שישנן, והשעות שהיו לפני הדקות שאינן. פתאום באמצע היום לוקח לו את שניתן היה לוותר עליו, ואת שאסור היה שיבקש, ואת כל השתיקות שבהסכמות, ואת כל הימים הבאים, ואת כל השאלות הבאות, ואת כל החשיכות הנראות, ואת כל המולות הזעם הבאות. פתאום באמצע היום, או בשעות הקטנות של הלילה, או בין הדמדומים, או בין השמשות, או בכלל אף פעם לא, מחמיץ את קו ההתחלה, ואף פעם לא את שעת הסיום. So that was the Hebrew version. And now for one that hopefully you will understand a little better. Okay, here we go. Suddenly at midday. Suddenly at midday, a man takes a moment to soar. He doesn't think twice about the days that have passed, about the ground at his feet, or how heavy it is, or how light is the air, and how he left it all behind. And what will he say when they meet, or how the air will unravel her hair? Suddenly at midday, a man takes a moment. He doesn't know where he's heading, or how fast he will fall, and how despite it all, he will know a new day. And then when did he forget to return? Or if he was there in the first place, and how his time has passed, and she is alone at last. Suddenly at midday, a man takes the days that he wanted, and all those sleepless nights, and the dusty roads that he has crossed, and the tears that he had held, and the tears that he had gathered, and all the togetherness and the loneliness that were, and all the hollow silences that are, and the hours before the minutes that are gone. Suddenly at midday, he takes that which he could have avoided, and that which he should never have asked for, and all the agreed upon
Ik weet niet wat
silence.
Pippi is. Geen boven.
I'm getting a Dutch translation. And
Aaron is muted.
okay, I'll go back. So suddenly at midday, he takes that which he could have avoided, and that which he should have never asked for, and all the agreed upon silences, and all the upcoming days, and all the unfolding questions, and all the visible darkness, and all the raging commotions. Suddenly at midday, or in the wee hours of the night, or at dusk, or at dawn, or never at all, missing the starting line, but never his final act. That was it.
Thank you, Oren. Thank you. My heart that has come up to my throat and then has descended into the center of me by listening to that. Thank you so much for sharing your life and your work with us. It is
Thank you, Kate.
truly beautiful. So from that wonderful moment, which has got such a lightness and a soul to it, to an incredibly soulful interpretation of a classic recipe, I think one might say. Perhaps it takes itself more seriously, though. I just wanted to find out if anybody knows anything about what a Pearson banana is. Because Meg claims this is a thing, and we are indulging her in this.
Yes.
So could you please answer the poll on your screen? So, yep, if you can just do that, and then we will get... Meg said is absolutely a thing, and Eric thinks it's also a thing. It is. Oh, we've got Meg. You must be feeling really good right now after our many meetings where we denied you this. And when we get, oh, here we go.
We've been
So,
gaslit about bananas. That's my concern. You know,
you didn't think it was possible. I'll
had
just
I hallucinated it?
Ruben's telling me that yep, on the banana phone it's coming through. It is 40% says yes, but 60% says no. So yes, Tanya and I were right all along, and that is the most important thing. Oh, she's claiming it wasn't her. No, yeah. Excellent. So we were thinking that perhaps if you don't remember what this was, or you never thought it was a thing, because you're 60% with me, we might give a little demo of this. And I know a celebrity chef in Wales who can let us know how to do this. So over to you.
Hi guys, welcome to the little tent in the big tent. This little tent is pitched in my garden in Wales where it's raining, so apologies for the pitter-patter of rain on the tent as we cook along here. But as you can tell, I am a semi-professional chef, and I'm also very pleased to say that I'm a member of the BS, the Banana Society. And so I was asked by the committee, and delighted to be asked by the committee, to come along here today and talk about the Pearson banana, to reignite your passion for the world famous Pearson banana. As some of you might recall, the Pearson banana was the dessert that you made yourself to make up for the meager portions that some people thought that they were getting in the cafeteria. I must confess I'd never heard of it until I left Pearson. But I'm told that essentially using what was available in the canteen at the time, so sugar, lemons, I suspect a certain amount of overconfidence, and certainly a soupçon of testosterone. All those things went together with a banana to make a luxury dessert, so I'm told, fit for royalty. So apparently the princesses at Atlantic College, many princesses at Atlantic College would appreciate this. I've heard that there's been many imposters over the years. Meg was particularly concerned about the Asheville school banana scandal back in 2005, where an American school thought that it had invented the Pearson banana, the cheek of it. So scandals like that aside, they've highlighted to us really the need to use these reunions to reignite the passion and to protect the Pearson banana. So we don't want to lose it forever. So that's what we're doing today. Fashions change, like lima wiggle and anything with celery in it. The Pearson banana has faded into obscurity. Perhaps bananas aren't fashionable anymore. Let's change that. So I want to show you today the Pearson banana so you can keep the legend alive in your own homes for the next 10 years to the next reunion. And to make the Pearson banana, you peel the banana. Interestingly, monkeys open at the other end. And hey presto, a banana. And for the Pearson banana, you simply slice it down the middle. Sliced banana. You find a little bit of brown sugar, or any sugar that you can find, because it's
We're just having a small buffering moment. Wales is so very far away from everywhere else and basically so backward to us here in England. They insist they are their own country, but of course it is
Live reenactment during the break. Somebody go and make one during the next intermission.
We might have to come back to this moment. Arvon, perhaps I could invite you to talk us through.
Hi guys, welcome to the little tent in the big tent. This little tent is pitched in my garden in Wales where it's raining, so apologies for the pitter-patter of rain on the tent as we cook along here. But as you can tell, I am a semi-professional chef, and I'm also very pleased to say that I'm a member of the BS, the Banana Society. And so I was asked by the committee, and delighted to be asked by the committee, to come along here today and talk about the Pearson banana, to reignite your passion for the world famous Pearson banana. As some of you might recall, the Pearson banana was the dessert that you made yourself to make up for the meagre portions that some people thought that they were getting in the cafeteria. I must confess I'd never heard of it until I left Pearson. But I'm told that essentially using what was available in the canteen at the time, so sugar, lemons, I suspect a certain amount of overconfidence, and certainly a soupçon of testosterone, all those things went together with a banana to make a luxury dessert, so I'm told, fit for royalty. So apparently the princesses at Atlantic College, the many princesses at Atlantic College would appreciate this. I've heard that there's been many imposters over the years. Meg was particularly concerned about the Asheville school banana scandal back in 2005, where an American school thought that it had invented the Pearson banana, the cheek of it. So scandals like that aside, they've highlighted to us really the need to use these reunions to reignite the passion and to protect the Pearson banana. So we don't want to lose it forever. So that's what we're doing today. Fashions change, like Lima Wiggle and anything with celery in it. The Pearson banana has faded into obscurity. Perhaps bananas aren't fashionable anymore. Let's change that. So I want to show you today the Pearson banana so you can keep the legend alive in your own homes for the next 10 years to the next reunion. And to make the Pearson banana, you peel the banana. Interestingly, monkeys open at the other end. And hey presto, a banana. And for the Pearson banana, you simply slice it down the middle. Sliced banana. You find a little bit of brown sugar, or any sugar that you can find, because it's
Well, isn't it a mystery? I mean, this just goes to show that it was all made up, because obviously there is no real way to make a Pearson banana.
I am making an intervention. I'm staging an intervention live on the screen until Alvin can get it sorted out. Voila,
Let's
one banana.
share Meg's video.
Here we go. Voila, one banana. Sliced horizontally in the true fashion. Oh no, you don't put that on. You put on the lemon first, and then add your sugar to make a sort of a sauce like that, and then pop each small mouthful into your mouth, and it's very delicious. There you go. And if you're telling me that you never had one of those and you never sat at one of those big dining tables and watched people meticulously slicing them up and then putting them on a plate in the middle and then everyone else diving in with a fork, you are missing out, my friends. Also, can I just say for the record, cinnamon, no.
Well,
Well,
thanks for
then.
stepping in there, Meg. I don't know what happened with that video. I think Ruben's having an issue with the buffering there, but I'm sure it'll be available in full post the event. I'm afraid you won't get to see me setting fire to the tent right at this moment, but you can have that delight later on if you wish. The next stage in our performance this evening, I'm going to introduce move from the little tent in Wales to the shores of Vancouver Island. Some of you have met him on a Monday. You might have taken him for a drink on a Tuesday and possibly had a delightful remainder of the week with him. Yes, it's the current head of the college, Craig Davis.
Craig Davis on the mic, yeah.
So please put your hands together for Craig Davis. He's in the house to speak to us all.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, thanks for that lovely introduction. Yeah, I think it's just my honor to be able to add some closing remarks to your a wonderful event, and I think just to extend to all PCers and community members a message to say that never before have we seen and had organized and experienced such a unique alumni reunion. Never before have we spread a reunion over 10 days on all continents, in all time zones, and around the clock programming. Never before have so many interactive channels been combined to reach out to as many alumni as possible. And never before has as many alumni been able to reconnect with fellow alumni and the college in the context of a decade anniversary reunion. And so we hope, as ever, that even more of you have been able to experience moments of re-encounter, more moments of reckoning, and more moments of inspiration, and more moments of discovery. And as I understand it, beyond the frustration caused by the cancellation of in-person reunions on campus this summer, a group of PC alum answered the call and took it upon themselves to turn this disappointing situation around and to take the proverbial lemons they were handed to make sweet tasting lemonade out of them. So that group is your organizing committee, and I believe they fully deserve a heartfelt ovation for their dedication, creativity, inventiveness, team spirit, and genuine care which they put into being as inclusive and as responsive to all the ideas and needs expressed by so many of you. So for Tanya Granadillo, Arfin Hughes, Kate May, Meg Pickard, Marinda McClure, Hussein Walji, Jean-Francois Godin, Ruben Priano Morales, a real heartfelt congratulations and thanks from all of us. We are really grateful for the inspiration, energy, and resources that you've devoted and the time to this endeavor, and the fact that you've served fellow alumni in the best way possible, making it possible for all to reunite. And the list of those who led sessions and those who actively participated is too long to repeat here, but be it known that Pearson congratulates you and thanks you so much for all of your contributions. And as you will hear from your organizing committee members, more of you than ever before reconnected with your teenage selves, with each other, with the college, and with UWC values. And more of you participated in one way or another in the sessions which were offered. More of you offered to lead planned and impromptu sessions. And in the end, the main objective of inclusive participation was reached. So I just want to thank you on behalf of the college, and I'm sure you'll thank each other for a wonderful event, and hope you can carry this energy into the future. And I really hope that you can remain connected to the college and support us in any way that you can for our exciting next 5-year plan. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much to Craig. I think we're going to hear briefly from Benoit now. Is that correct?
I will just say one thing, is that it's been a total delight to see such a group of alum embrace this idea of coming together very differently. And as you know, reunions or any gatherings of alum are about the people, not so much about the technology, not so much even about the place. But we've had tremendous fun putting together this event of events, this big tent, this big gathering on campus even. And we managed to do that in a very compressed period of time, thanks to the creativity, inventiveness, and flexibility of this group of alum that were across time zones. And so, I mean, this was as good, if not better, than having a reunion on campus. And we certainly won't stop having reunions on campus, but we now know that there are great alternatives. And the legacy left by this particular group will be long-standing. I believe that we have now set a new standard for ourselves, and this has been a total delight to be working alongside this committee and to be participating. And thank you for allowing me to be among you, even though I'm slightly older than you are. But it's such a blessing for me to be able to get to know you better and to see you more closely as you interacted with each other, sometimes on Gather, sometimes in Zoom, sometimes in informal or formal gatherings. This is great. We almost have 70 of you on this Zoom call, representing about 70% of who you are, living alumni of years 16, 17, 18, 19. And as I put in the chat, the next opportunity for another 30-year reunion for years 18 and 19 is in 2 years' time, in 2023, together with 20 and 21. And so we hope to be continuing this rolling clustering of alum. But as was suggested in the chat by Theron, perhaps a festival is warranted every single year to keep the connections alive. And I think you should continue doing your meet and greet. It was a little competitive game you had now, but yes, it is something of a visual kit that should come back and is electronically available. And I know that, having participated in one great session yesterday on nonviolent communication offered by Alper, who had also offered it on campus, there is a suggestion that there be a giraffe group for PCers to take that legacy onward. And so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, join the giraffe group. Just speak to Alper. Anyway, a lot of future is ahead of us. As you know, life on campus is tremendously intense, and it needs to be, because it needs to carry us for 70 years into our lifetime of being alum. So it was a delight. I look forward to working with you. Come over, speak to me, and certainly come on Gather at PCUWC to bump into me. That's where I hold my office space all the time. So you're all welcome. It's always daytime and it's always sunny at Gather at PC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Benoit. That's brilliant. So we're going to have a little bit of an intermission now, which, will give you a chance to, get your special ways to work with the bananas. Not everybody agrees with the lemon and sugar approach, and really we should be open to all kinds of ways of working with bananas across the world. I don't believe there's just one framework for banana work, and I don't think that we should conform in that way. So if we could just think about that over the intermission, and we're going to go into some breakout rooms where you could talk about that more. So when you see the little post up in your screen about breakout rooms, if you could join that, that would be brilliant. join a breakout room, have a chat. When you leave the breakout room, you'll get a little prompt from Ruben, who I want to shout out to in the back there. He's working his, I think he likes like a cranberry jelly with his banana, I think Ruben said. Anyway, he's working on that, and he's running all the tech. So I'd like to have a massive shout out to Ruben in the background with his banana and the cranberry jelly, as I said. Other options are available. Anyway, when you get the chance to leave the breakout room, he'll give you a little bit of a countdown there, and then leave the room. But don't leave the meeting, guys. Don't leave the meeting. We've got so much more to come. I look forward to seeing you after. Cheers, guys.
Lauren, thank you for sharing and for your beautiful poem. I'm so happy for you about your book as well.
Thank you, Jan. So what happens now?
I didn't quite catch it.
So you've all been assigned to a breakout room. If you want to, you can go into the breakout room. The conversations will just be smaller because it's just not going to be 67 people in the same space. So it'll be 8 or 9. You can go to the bathroom, you can make a cup of tea, you can get a gin, you can do a little dance, you can go and get a banana, anything you like, but we're going to be coming back in a few minutes. So this is just a little breather and perhaps a little chance for conversation rather than just listening at this stage.
I don't.
So there'll be breakout room. Yeah. Breakout room invites.
And that's just done that automatically, has it, Meg?
It should have done.
Yeah, I don't see.
No, I'm definitely in a room. I don't know what room I'm in, but
hey,
Oren, that was amazing. Awesome.
I'm in a darkened room here. This is Martin. I don't see anyone. The lights have gone out. I don't know if this is a metaphor.
Go north. Go north. 2 steps.
I can't see anybody. All I can see is Petter Bay, which is, not the worst thing. Not the worst thing.
I think this is some kind of group building exercise.
I'm year 16. Hi.
Where are you, Diana? Let me see.
Everyone
Can we just join any
We can just join any room.
Someone's talking
Lauren,
to me.
good to see you there.
Where is the breakout room? Oh, there.
I don't know.
Join any.
Okay.
There's like breakout room at the bottom.
Oh my God. I'm in a lockdown. I'm in a lockdown in Sydney. And so this is like 8 weeks of lockdown for us. And I'm now having a lockdown reunion. So it's very funny. Am I now out?
Don't worry, it's going to be coming back.
Oh, you're still here.
Okay, good. Something would happen.
This is so funny.
Like I can see the breakout rooms, I can't join anyone.
Yeah, I tried as well.
I can see someone. I can see someone there.
I can see the rooms, but